Hi everyone, welcome back to my cozy little corner of YouTube. My name's Holly and I'm a doll artist, collector and general lover of all things cute. In today's video I wanted to do something a little bit different than my usual style of video. It might be a little bit late, but I'm jumping on the bag charm trend. Now, if you have been online in the last few months or over the last year actually, you might have seen the trend for bag charms and customizing your expensive or not so expensive bags with really cute, fluffy, cuddly charms. Not to mention the huge craze at the moment for the famous character Labubu. I don't actually have a Labubu of my own, despite really wanting one at some stage. But I kind of decided to move on from that now. I feel like at this point, I'll just wait until they become more accessible. I am not one for queuing outside of shops and that kind of thing. But I do have one of the cute crybaby bag charms, which I absolutely love. And this one is just on my work bag. So this is a bag that I take to work. It's one of my favorites. It's a really, really cute bag that says Cherry Happy. And I have some really cute little charms and pins on there as well. So that is one of the bags that I have already. I wanted to show a few other of my bags. These are my favourite bags in my collection and show how I have decorated them so far. This really, really cute bag by House of Sunny is another one of my favourites. This is, it's a little bit old now, so it's gone a little bit tatty, but I still like to use it regularly. This one is probably my favourite, like a little glittery ball with sequins and gems. It just catches the light really nicely. The one which I got in Japan is a really cute cherry blossom flower. And this really weird, I got this secondhand. I have no idea what this character is from or if it even is a character itself. It's just a really weird little bear type thing. And my favourite of all my bags is this adorable Vivienne Westwood patent bag. This is a love heart shape and it's just the cutest little bag. I received this as a gift, so I was very, very lucky to get my hands on this. And I put on a little disco ball. It's actually an ornament, but I just wanted something simple on this bag. I didn't want to overcrowd it with lots of charms. I just at the moment have this very cute little disco ball just to give it a little bit of sparkle. But this is my prized possession. I absolutely love this bag. And finally, I have this very sweet and small little coach bag that I found for a really good price in Japan in one of the second-hand shops. I love this little bag. It's just a very good everyday go-to kind of handbag. Fits everything that I need into it. But it is just lacking a little bit of excitement. It is a bit plain, it's a bit, it doesn't really stand out. So this is the bag that I want to decorate today, and I have the best inspiration. So if you are interested in fashion or dolls or collecting, you might have noticed the recent Bratz collection. So Bratz dolls are really, really coming back in popularity recently. Since I was little, I had my own Bratz dolls. I had a big collection. I had all the accessories and everything. But now they're coming back and they're almost better than ever before. They're very, very cool, and the concepts that they keep coming up with are really, really modern and relatable, I think, as well. And so I actually do have a collection still of from Bratz dolls from my own childhood. I've always been quite a sentimental person. It took me such a long time to finally sell and get rid of all my old toys and dolls. I did keep behind some of my favourites and I'm so glad that I did. So the ones that I kept were these two Bratz dolls. These were the twins, the Wicked Twins collection, that they probably were made in around early 2000s, 2002 I guess, or 3, something around that time. And these were probably my favourite dolls that I ever owned. I always found Bratz dolls to be quite inspiring in the fashion sense and how they look, and their makeup is always really bold and really cool. And so these two were my absolute favourites, and I just love the concept of them as well. They are part of my collection and I'll always keep hold of these two dolls. I just love them. So if you are following Bratz on Instagram, you might have noticed the recent collaboration that they've done with the sunglasses brand Gentle Monster. This brand is quite a high-end luxury brand, and Bratz have been known to collaborate with similar brands in the past, but this particular collaboration really caught my eye for a few different reasons. First of all, because the colour scheme and just the sheer impact of this collaboration was just mind-blowing. This exhibition looks absolutely amazing. At first I was unsure whether this was even real. I know now it's becoming more and more difficult to distinguish the difference between what's real and what is not because of AI, but this exhibition is featuring huge, and I mean huge, sculptures of Bratz dolls. And unfortunately, I'm not in any of the cities where these exhibitions are taking place. These are like pop-up shops, but these look so cool, and it just immediately caught my eye. It looks so futuristic and fun, and I was excited to see Bratz making something so different and really modern and relevant, like they always do, basically. But this particular collaboration was just so cool, and when Bratz and Gentle Monster created this collaboration, it immediately inspired me. And the reason is because I actually still own, from my childhood, some mini Bratz dolls, and I thought, why not have a go at making my own bag charm out of one of these mini Bratz dolls? So I created this. So this was my first attempt at creating my own Bratz bag charm, and this doll is an original Lil Bratz back from the early 2000s. I believe on her head I think it says 2002, it says on the back of her head, and I customized her and added these charms and beads to create her into a little bag charm. In today's video, I actually want to have a go at making another one. I have a concept in mind, but I just want to do this on video and show you the process of how I created this adorable bag charm. So to start off, I have my blank canvas. This is a blonde Lil Bratz, and I just start by gently tugging off her head. Looks a bit violent, but she's fine. And then I'm just going to take some small scissors and start to cut away most of the hair. And now we're left with a semi-bold, very sad looking Bratz head. Next, I take a cup of warm water and dunk the head inside, making sure the water goes inside the neck. I then squeeze out the excess water and begin to poke around inside and try and dislodge any clumps of glue inside the head. I then go in with some tweezers and try to pull out as much as I can of the dried glue and hair that's stuck inside the doll's head. This process was quite difficult on my hands, but in the end I was left with a nice bold little Bratz head, ready to create her some brand new hair. I give her a wipe with an antibacterial wipe and the body as well, and then put back her head. Now I'm going to use some scrap fabric that I have lying around and try and make her a little outfit. At this stage I am literally just making it up as I go along. I don't use patterns or sewing machines or anything like that, I will just go for it. I do have a rough concept in mind. I do think that I want this girl to be a little fairy, so I'm thinking green is really good for the woodland feel. I'm using super glue to attach the fabric to her body. Again, no plan at all, I'm just seeing what happens. I decide to cut little slits in the sides of the fabric so it'll be easier to wrap the fabric around her body. I then pull the fabric to create a knot at the back, and then I use the excess fabric to tie a little bow at the front, and I think it looks cute. Again, I'm going in with super glue, and I have a little scrap of fabric that I wrap around her leg, and this just creates a little bit more detail to the outfit. I decide to add some little rhinestones and flowers onto the dress to give it more extra detail. So far I'm really happy with how this little dress has turned out. As you have probably seen, I don't really like to sew, I just like to glue and hope for the best. I'm using super glue just because it's quick and easy and everything just goes into place really quickly with that. And yeah, so this is her outfit so far. I still feel like she needs something more, and obviously she does need shoes as well. So I will be sculpting those later on, but for now I think she looks cute and I can't wait to move on to doing like the wings and the hair and everything. So for the wings I'm using this flexible garden wire, and I just start by creating a rough shape for the wings. I compare them to the size of the doll and try to recreate the same on the other side. Luckily, I have enough of this green polymer clay left over to create the base of the wings. I start by conditioning the clay in my hands and then rolling it out to create a flat shape. I then press the clay over the wire frame and I try to shape the wings as best as I can. And then repeat the process for the opposite side. I trim off the excess wire and then I put them in the oven for around 10 to 15 minutes. The fairy wings have now been baked and I just try them on again for size. So now I decide to go ahead and use some UV resin. I am wearing a mask for this because of the fumes, and I just go around the outside edge of the wings and add a layer of UV resin. I then decide to sprinkle on some blue glass glitter onto the outside edge just to add some sparkle and shine. I then add just a little bit more glitter before curing them under a UV lamp for around 2 to 3 minutes. Afterwards, I go in with hot glue and I glue the doll to the wings. I then go in with some small white flowers to make it look like she's been lying in a bed of flowers. At this stage, I decide to go in with some black details, so I have some little bows and flowers to be added to the wings. I just glue those on with super glue. I really like how she's looking so far. I think the black looks really good against the green wings. The next step now is to begin making the hair. I decide to go for this black Fimo clay. I start off by conditioning the clay. I did have this clay in storage for quite a while, so it did require quite a bit of conditioning as well as some baby oil just to re-soften the clay. I then go ahead and wrap the doll's head in cling film before starting on the wig. I start by flattening the clay before placing it onto the doll's head to create a rough placement of where the hair will be. I use my fingers to smooth out the clay. And then I create 2 little buns on either side of the head. I then create 6 long and thin pieces of clay. These will be used to create braids to wrap around the buns on her head. To create the braids, I lay 3 pieces of the clay onto the board. I then start to braid the pieces of clay as you would with hair, taking my time and layering over each piece of clay until I get a nice braid. I then start to wrap the braid around the base of the bun, being careful not to flatten the shape as I go. I then create a parting line on the middle of the hair. I then use the same tool to score out some hairlines. The wig will then need to be baked in the oven for around 10 to 15 minutes. I finally got around to gluing the hair on and I absolutely love how it looks. I think she looks so cute and I really like how the hairstyle turned out. So now all I need to do is I need to make her some shoes, which I'm kind of putting off because I already know how difficult that's going to be, and I need to attach her a keyring at the top and some beads. Actually already picked out some nice beads to go with her and some nice different things to attach to the keyring, so I might have a go at doing that. It's getting really late now and I feel really tired and I've been doing this for longer than I kind of expected. It's one of those projects where the time just completely runs away on its own. I'll come back tomorrow and finish the shoes, but I am so excited by how she's looking and I think it's been a really cute project. Now the next day and I'm ready to finally finish off my little fairy. Today's job is to make her some little boots, which I'm a bit worried about because I've never made any boots or shoes in this scale before. So I'm hoping to try and make her some out of polymer clay. I also have to add her keyring and some beads and decorations to finish off the look. But I'm so excited to get this doll finished and get her attached to my bag. So I begin to create some shoes using the black polymer clay. I did have an absolute nightmare when trying to create the shoes. I just did not know how to do this. So I followed some tutorials online and I still really wasn't getting how to do this, especially when every time you touch the clay, because it is so soft, it does seem to distort or ruin the shape that you've already sculpted. So I did experiment with a few different styles. I tried baking some of the clay first and then coming back in with details, which seemed to work better, and I did end up settling with these little boots that I created. They're not perfect, but I think they're really suitable for this doll. I then use a little bit of scrap white fabric to create some ruffled socks around the top of the boots. And then I just glue everything together with super glue. I then finish off the boots by applying some UV gel polish. I really thought the gel is a nice finishing touch to add some gloss and shine to the shoes. I cured the shoes under a UV lamp and there she is, there's the final outfit. I finish off by applying some felt to the back of the wings just to add some softness and to make it look more neat and tidy. So finally, I managed to make some small little boots for the doll. It was an actual nightmare. I think I ended up making about 4 or 5 pairs and they just went wrong every time. So I nearly actually gave up, but I did manage to persevere in the end, and I came up with some little boots for this doll and I think they look really cute, and I actually finished them off with some gloss nail polish as well, just to give them a nice shine. So basically the doll is finished now, and I did put some felt on the back just to neaten up the back. So the only thing left to do now is to make the keyring for attaching her to my bag, and I want to add some beads and charms and accessories onto that as well. I selected some nice beads in different shades of green and brown. I have a big collection of beads and charms already, so it was really fun picking out things that would match the doll. I used a satin string to attach the beads and used super glue to secure things in place. I then used a brass hook to attach everything at the top and attach some small charms, little flowers and details. So I finally finished making the bag charm and I am so happy with how it turned out. It looks absolutely adorable. Here she is, here's the finished bag charm. It turned out way better than I even imagined it would. She looks so cute. So she is a little woodland fairy and she has a little glass jar here with some flowers inside, and she also has her very own little glass collector's jar vial type thing, and I just imagine that she would be out in the forest collecting fireflies and moths and insects in this little jar. Let me know in the comments what you think. I am so happy with her and I'm just obsessed with making these little Bratz bag charms now. I also wanted to see how it would look on my Coach bag as well, so I'm just going to clip it on and have a look. So there she is. I think it looks really adorable. Thank you so much for watching today. I really hope you enjoy seeing how I create this custom Bratz charm. If you'd like to see more similar videos about dolls or fashion, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, as I'm hoping to make more videos very soon. Also, if you really liked what you saw today, or if you'd like to comment or ask any questions or have any suggestions about my project today, please feel free to leave a comment. That really does help boost my channel as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.